anything you have, it doesn't matter. You can take amazing fuzz. It's not about what you have to take photos with, it's about how you use it to it's not about what you have photos it's not about what you have photos to take with, it's about how you use it. You need to keep in mind that obviously cameras and phones are a lot bit different, and phones won't do as good in low light or color accuracy. But if you know how to use what you have to the best of its abilities, you're gonna have a great time shooting, and you're gonna be great at what you do. So now let me show you in a world. Today I'm going to show you how to film with your phone and all the cool ways that you can get around it without having an expensive professional DSLR camera. Even though what we have is less, we'll still create some great photos and prove people wrong. The first two things that you have to remember to start when you're shooting with your phone is to make sure to lock your focus and make sure your exposure and how you do that. So the first two things that you have to remember when you start shooting with your phone is 1, exposure, 2, focus. So you have to make sure that your phone has a lock to its focus and make sure that your exposure is right. And how you do that is very simple. You get your subject locked in, tap on their face, and then drag your camera up or down. And by doing this up or down motion on the screen, that's going to make it either brighter or darker. And that way you have your shot full. And if you want to lock it, that lighting setup, by dragging your finger up or down the screen, that's what's going to make it brighter or darker. That way, when you have your shot full, and if you want to, you can lock that in place. In order to do that, you just hold it down and it'll automatically light and it'll automatically lock, and your lighting and focus will both be in place. If it's done right, you can move your camera around to any position and it'll still have the same exposure and same focus, which I think is really cool. Additionally, a really cool textured wall would look really cool as a shot. But if you can't find something to shoot, try shooting something in the shade, and that is your best friend, the most safest option. 2 things you want to remember: low shots and high shots. I just did that wrong. When you go low and you shoot your subject from below, it makes them taller, but it also makes them look like a hero. When you go low and shoot your subject from below, it makes them taller, and your hero shot makes the buildings look taller. Whatever is behind them looks a lot grander, and the high angle makes what we're shooting smaller, but it also increases the depth of the entire image. So it kind of gives you some room to play with. On top of that, you have portrait mode. You have all of these other things that fancy phones nowadays have, but let's go play around and see what else we can do. Finding cool background textures that are cool and simple will honestly just make your photos pop every time. Consider doing little things like going back and stepping away and really giving your subject some room to breathe. This allows your photos to be amazing. And again, network with white walls, anything darker, anything that's brick, shade. So by stepping back, you can not only give your subject to breathe, but allow them to pop and stand out. And if I come a little bit closer and I change my mind about the crop, my framing will now change. And this framing changes the whole photo and the look it gives it. Then you can lock your focus one more time, and also, don't forget to use your rule of thirds. So your subject can be great in the center, but they can also be great off to the right or off to the right. Lighting, rule of thirds, focus, and angles. All of those things are what are going to make your photo look so sick. Sometimes you're going to want to focus on the darker spots where the shadow, sometimes you're going to want to focus on the darker spots where the shadows are, and then you can brighten them up. Sometimes you're going to want to focus on the darker spots where the shadow is and brighten up that area. Other times you can use those shadows to your advantage to make your subject look even more interesting. The shadows can shape and frame the photo as well. You don't need any fancy equipment It's important to remember that everyone has these options on their phone. It's not just about fancy equipment. It really is, at the end of the day, your unique perspective and how you choose to play with that perspective. Your photo can be awesome, and you have to be proud of them. Again, it's not just about editing. It's about framing, focusing, lighting. All of these things go into how you take a photo, no matter what device they're on. So make sure to consider all of these things when you're shooting, especially on an iPhone. I've seen some really cool photos and cool shots taken on an iPhone, and they don't even feel or look like they've been shot on a phone, but they have. You have so much potential in your small little device, and you just have to learn to play around with it and to shoot different perspectives that tell your story. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed learning about how to shoot on an iPhone, and I hope you took something with these tips and tricks. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.